How did it go?
Hello.
No.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi Jason and all you people back in Praise City. It's a beautiful day here. It's like 90 degrees. God bless you all. Miss you all very much.
Morning, everybody. I really miss everybody. I'm anxious to get back to work.
Good morning. Miss you guys. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Praying that everyone is staying healthy and safe.
Good morning and have a great day.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're praying for you all.
We're all doing fine. Hope you are too.
Stay safe.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. We miss you.
Have a good day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be worshiping with you this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kia.
No.
Can you wave?
No.
Good morning.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Hey everybody! For the children's message this week, we're going to sing a song that's one of my favorites. I sing it almost every week with the 3-year-old preschool class. It is about how Jesus is our shepherd and we are his sheep, and that feels good to think about this week because he's taking care of us like a shepherd takes care of his sheep. He's making sure we have food and shelter and just loving us and making sure that we're doing okay. Some of you know this song, some of you don't. Feel free to sing along. The actions go like this. Ba, 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 ba. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. Ba, 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 ba. Here we go. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. One more time. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep. Ba, 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 ba. Now here's the fun thing, since we are streaming our services, I put a message out online to see if anybody had any other animals we don't want to be. Because sometimes with the preschool, we'll sing about animals we don't want to be, and then we'll rhyme something silly with it. Oh, I got a message. Bowen Baylor wants us to do a cat. Okay, easy peasy. I don't want to be a cat, meow. I don't want to be a cat, meow. Because if I were a cat, I might scratch. I don't want to be a cat. Oh, there's another message. Hold on. Do a rhinoceros. Okay. I don't want to be a rhinoceros. I don't want to be a rhinoceros. Because a rhinoceros is preposterous. I don't want to be a rhinoceros. Hold on. A Wonderpuss photogenicus, that's not even a thing. I don't want to be a Wonderpuss photogenicus. I don't want to be a Wonderpuss photogenicus because a Wonderpuss photogenicus is completely ridiculous. I don't want to be a Wonderpuss photogenicus. Tasseled Wobbegong. Seriously? That's not... I don't want to be a tasseled Wobbegong. I don't want to be a tasseled Wobbegong. I think the choice to do things online is sometimes wrong if you're doing children's sermons. I don't want to be a tasseled Wobbegong. I just want to be a sheep, ba, 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba, 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 ba. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, ba, 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 ba. So this week we had somebody who wanted to do special music. They contacted me last Sunday and volunteered, but they didn't want to be on film. They want you to guess who it might be. So for special music today, sing along and try to figure out who the mystery singer is. I don't know if there's a prize. Maybe when we start church again, unlimited gumballs from my gumball machine in my office. Or maybe one. We'll start with one. We don't want to go crazy.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see. Beauty
that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became pure. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
What a week it's been, huh? So a lot of us are dealing with stress, anxiety, and fear as each day goes on, but know that we can find joy in each day and know that God is faithful. I'm going to read the scripture to you today. It comes from Psalm 30.
Psalm 30.
A psalm, a song for the dedication of the Temple of David. The theme of this psalm is a celebration of God's deliverance. Earthly security is uncertain, but God is always faithful.
I will exalt you, Lord, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me.
O Lord my God, I called to you for help, and you healed me.
You, Lord, brought me up from the realm of the dead. You spared me from going down to the pit.
Sing to the Lord, you saints of his. Praise his holy name.
For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime.
Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. When I felt secure, I said, I will never be shaken.
Lord, when you favored me, you made me my royal mountain stand firm. But when you hid your face, I was dismayed.
To you, O Lord, I called. To the Lord I cried for mercy. What gain is there in my destruction, in my going down into the pit? Will the dust praise you? Will it proclaim your faithfulness?
Hear, Lord, and be merciful to me. Lord, be thy help. You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, that my heart may sing your praises and not be silent.
Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever.
Lord my God, I will praise you forever.
Noah and I will read Psalms 130.
Good morning, everybody. Today I'll be reading Psalm 130.
Out of the depths I cried unto thee, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications.
If you, Lord, kept a record of sins, Lord, who could stand?
But there is forgiveness with thee, that thou mayest be feared.
I wait for the Lord, my whole being waits, and in his word I put my hope.
My soul waiteth for the Lord more than watchmen wait for the morning. Yea, more than watchmen for the morning.
Israel, put your hope in the Lord, for with the Lord is unfailing love.
And with him is plenteous redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his iniquities.
He himself will redeem Israel from all their sins.
We are reading from 2 Corinthians 4, verse 13. Since we have the same spirit of faith according to what has been written, I believed, and so I spoke, we also believe, and so we also speak, knowing that he who raised the Lord Jesus will raise us also with Jesus and bring us with you into his presence. For it is all for your sake, so that as grace extends to more and more people, it may increase thanksgiving to the glory of God.
For we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. For we know that if the tent that is our earthly home is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens.
So we're going to have a little interview with Darren and Ava Telfer about their trip to Cary, Mississippi with some students and adults from the church and the community and the work that they did down there, the God things that they saw before their trip was cut short because of the coronavirus. We're going to link in this post to their highlight video of pictures. There's a few pictures in this video, but those were really just used to cover some ugly edits that I had for the interview when we lost sound or whatnot. So make sure you click their highlight video on their YouTube page. That will make sure we put in this link. But it was pretty neat to hear from them this week.
We went to Cary, Mississippi is where we stayed, but our jobs were in Myersville and I don't know how to say the other one, and Greenville.
Okay.
Each were about a half hour away from Cary, except for Greenville was an hour away.
At the Myersville house, it had been pretty much wiped out by the flood. And then after the flood went through and damaged the floor and the wall, one of the storms came through and knocked the tree down on the roof. But it also had roof damage and ended up replacing the roof, and the wall became connected from the floor, so they had to reconnect those things. And then siding and just a whole lot of work on the whole house. This was a mother and a couple, maybe high school kids, I believe. She's been relocated to a FEMA housing until this house is deemed livable for her family again.
And then we had two houses. I want to say it's Anguilla. I think that's the name of the town that we were at. Two houses, we call them Sister 1 and Sister 2. No, they're not nuns. They were actually like biological sisters. The kids were confused by that the first day. In those houses, Sister 1, they refloored the whole place. They repaired this roof and they did siding. And on Sister 2, they also did flooring, and then they did a little bit of repair on the roof, but not as much as on Sister 1. And yes, there were people living in there. In fact, Sister 1 actually was running a daycare, so she had to shut down while we were working because we took over the house. And then in Greenville, we met this sweet lady, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Mandy Brown. And her house had been hit by the tornado that came through. And so she had a lot of roof repair that needed to be done. And then on the inside of her house, part of her living room ceiling had fallen in, and also a bedroom that had been repaired that we had to go in and redo for her. And then the outside of her house needed painting. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the roofing done because we came back early.
Right.
But I did talk to the lady that's in charge of the entire Mississippi emergency management, because Ms. Brown has been on my mind since we got home to make sure that her roofing things were safe. And she said that yes, everything had been moved to a safe location so that they didn't get stolen, and that they were having a meeting today to hire contractors to go in and finish her roof for her. The kids fell in love with Ms. Brown. She was awesome.
She's a sweetheart.
That said, she's a sweetheart. And the kids did really well. They respected the fact that it was somebody's home. Their culture might be a little bit different than ours, but they respected that. And anytime that they were able to engage, they did. Sister one had a puppy and a kitty, and those became favorites, as you will see in the video. This trip was a little bit different due to the corona. We would get up, we would eat breakfast, we would make our sack lunches, we would then, the kids would check out their sites where they were headed, get in the vans, we would load up, and then each site would take off and go. Then when they got to their sites, they would pray over the site before we started. The adults that were there would delegate out jobs as what to be done. And then when we would get done, one perk of this year's trip was supper was provided by locals. And so we had to make sure we were back by 6:30 every night from each work site to have some awesome homemade food. And then after that, we would have worship. And then after worship, we would have small group time. And then the kids were able to have just a little bit of free time before lights out. And the facility that we were at was really nice because the kids had lots of room and there wasn't very many people. It's a Christian center in Cary. It's not a church camp, but it kind of felt like we were at a church camp. We were kind of on the edge of town, and there was a large room that had the kitchen, the dining hall, and then two dorms, a guy's dorm and a girl's dorm that had shower facilities and bathrooms in them. And that's where we had the bulk of everything. And then there was, I think, 4 little apartments and then a small house. And that's where some of the other adults that went with us stayed, were in the apartments and in the house. The kids didn't have access to that. But that main facility was where we were at. It also had a basketball court and a baseball field that they used as a kickball field and a playground and that kind of stuff. So it felt like a church camp because we were on the edge of town, and we didn't have a whole lot of contact with a lot of the locals right there in Cary. So we were just kind of our own little group. So the precautions that we took on the way down were every time anybody entered or exited a van, once they were coming back in, they were germ gelled up. Every time we wiped down in our van, we wiped down steering wheels and doors every time we got out and got back in. When we stopped at McDonald's, we actually took Clorox wipes in with us and handed them out and wiped down every surface before we even went into the restaurant.
Right, the cleanest that McDonald's was
Right.
in years.
And then the kids ordered and we sat down and everybody ate. And then we also cleaned with Clorox wipes after we as we were leaving. Bess and I were the last 2 out the door with wipes. Our kids were healthy, but we also wanted to make sure we weren't leaving our footprints anywhere. The day they found out that they weren't going back to school for a while was difficult for the seniors. Quite a few seniors on the trip, and that was hard for them. Diana and I would go to the stores, to get supplies and stuff, and the shelves didn't look anything like what they do here. There was still food on the shelves. There was still toilet paper. Part of that is their way of life, kind of easygoing, living type people, and 2, the means. They don't have the means to go in and buy the bulk, so if they needed toilet paper, they went in and got what they could get. It wasn't a concern of the people down there. Like the ladies that came in to serve us, they would bring the supper in and then they would leave, just as a precautionary, because they knew that it was going on, but it wasn't a scare. if that makes sense. And we germ gelled everybody before they went through the supper, every meal. We wanted to make sure the kids were safe at all times, as safe as they could be, but we also didn't want to make our imprint anywhere else either. We didn't want to leave our footprint, so we wanted to take care of the places that we had been also.
Community members, walk by, they watch, they kind of wonder what's going on, and they happen to glance over, and some of our younger people, our high school students, were talking with this lady and her 3 little kids, and the next thing I knew, they were all in a circle, and one of our youth group was leading them in a prayer, praying for hope and help. Just got to be patient, God has a plan, and we're just kind of to watch them kind of be leaders as young people made a lasting impression.
We also had a couple kids that made some decisions over the week to either reaffirm or to accept Christ. So that was kind of awesome.
We just had a great group of kids from Central College.
Yeah.
So I think it let some of our older high schoolers realize that the next step, there will be people there that can be comfortable with sharing their faith when they move out to college. They don't have to worry about being alone. People with faith out in the college world.
Remind me, how many years have you been leading senior high youth?
I'm on 19.
I'm on 18.
How many of these types of trips have you been on? Not counting Rocky, but we're going to load up in a van and go do a service project.
So this was my 10th year with Lakeview, and then we organized one to Joplin with Mike and Dawn Albers after the tornado. So this is my 10th year. Darren stayed home for a lot of years because we had littles.
Mine's fifth or sixth, maybe. I can't remember for sure, but 5th or 6th year of mine.
So for me, it's very much about getting the kids out of Prairie City, Monroe area, letting them see that you can just drive a few hours and you're going to run into a different culture within our own country. I think that's really important that they see that and that they experience that and that they respect that. We might not always understand their culture. I mean, I have been fortunate enough to be to New Orleans and Texas and Mississippi and Florida, which all 4 have been very different cultural bases. And I think it's really important that they see that, and they may not understand it, but to respect it, because I think sometimes they would come to our culture and have some ideas, like maybe we're wasteful or, things like that. And just to respect the culture back and forth. The other thing is to get them away and let them drop the labels. That's a huge one for us collectively. But for me, I just love when they can just go and be. They don't have to be the athlete. They don't have to be the music star. They don't have to be the academic scholar. They don't have to be, they can just be who that God has made them to be, and they're equal as peers, and they can interact with each other that way. And sometimes you see kids become leaders. Some younger kids become leaders that might not feel comfortable in another setting, but they have a strong belief system, or they feel more confident in their faith than the older kids, and vice versa. I mean, you never know, but it's just so incredible to watch those walls fall down that we build up socially, and everybody can just kind of become one and be comfortable sharing. And for some reason that they don't feel comfortable doing that within our own community, but you take them a few hours away and some great things can happen.
I think no matter what age you are, I think it's good to go away to a community where they have a lot less than you do. I think it's just a good reminder, as I look forward to spring, is my lawnmower going to run? Do I have to plant the garden? Am I going to do this? And, the roof and the cars and the this and the that. Just remind them how thankful that we should be for what we have. A lot of people don't have those struggles or headaches that we have to worry about. Right. And then secondly is just watching kids interact with other people that they would never probably interact with here, and hopefully get some new friendships that they can use in the hallways of the school or parking lot or wherever they may need someone to talk to. They feel comfortable talking to them.
So I like mission trips a lot because I like making friendships, and that's kind of my thing, making new relationships. And sometimes it's just easier to go to like new people, and it's nice to see the other leadership and like really learn from other people as well. And then I like watching some of my closest friends like grow. That's another reason why I really like mission trips.
I had a really good Wednesday this week. I got to come in and record some music videos with a couple musicians here at the church, and it was kind of a good reminder for me how much I appreciate what they do and how much I miss being able to listen to their music and sing their music with the entire congregation. But after I was done recording, I got a text message from Andrea that said, just made brownies. You can come home and have some if you want. And I did. I went home and I ate brownies. And then, no joke, about an hour later I got a message from my mom, just made caramel rolls. If you want, come out and pick up some caramel rolls. You can take them home and eat them with Andrea and the boys. I went and picked up caramel rolls, and even though I'd already had brownies, I ate caramel rolls right afterwards. And then, again, true story, less than an hour later, there's a knock at the door, and one of you in the congregation dropped off a whole box of Yarzma goodies, including my favorite, blueberry strudels. And I ate more calories in 24 hours than most people eat in an entire week, and I needed it on that Wednesday. It was Wednesday, and it was a long day, and it's a quarantine day. And then Thursday, I was talking to one of you in the congregation, and this person said, I'm thinking about calling my wife's hairdresser and prepaying for a few cuts and treatments. I'm not sure if she needs it right now, but I think it would be a good gesture while things are crazy. That's an amazing gesture, something I hadn't even thought about. Maybe I should call my barber. I think about how the book box was converted to a food and hygiene box within just a couple of hours last Sunday by a handful of congregants who went to the store and stocked up on canned goods. Not for themselves, but for someone else who maybe needs it. I think about the cards and letters that people have been writing to those who are at risk, that are locked down in their homes, that aren't allowed visitors. Letters telling them that they are in our thoughts and prayers, they are known and loved and remembered. I think about the teachers at PCM who drove through town to honk and wave at kids to remind them that school is about more than just education. It's about relationships and mentoring. I think about the number of people who've reached out about their own anxiety and depression after hearing Beth McClellan share on last week's video how they felt like they weren't alone. I think about our work crew of youth and adults who went down to Cary, Mississippi and had to come back early because of the virus. And yet they were there long enough to fix roofs and walls and floors and even more, make contact with strangers who are now friends, to remind them that they are known and loved by God. I cannot imagine how much more stress I'd be under right now if I was not only worried about myself and my family, but also worried that my roof was going to leak every time it rained. There's that scene at the end of the film Rudy, where after almost 2 hours of watching this college kid break his body to get a chance to play for Notre Dame football, he's finally getting ready to hit the field with his team for his very first chance to play in a real game. And one of the other players asks him if he's ready, and his response is, I've been ready for this my whole life. That's all he wanted as he grew up. It's all he wanted as he was again and again rejected as he tried to follow his dream. It was all he wanted as he stood on the sidelines game after game. But he knew in his heart he was born and ready for that moment. I hear that passage from 2 Corinthians, and it's hard not to think to myself, Christians were born for this moment. In the midst of crisis, we can remember we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. Wednesday was a good day not only because I was reminded that I'm surrounded by people who worry about me, who care about me, but also because I realized I have a roof over my head. I have family around me. I have food. I'm safe. And even if one or all of those things were missing, I've been believing my whole life that my eyes should be fixed not on the momentary trouble, but on the prize at the end. Even when I'm not quote unquote safe, my faith reminds me that I'm more safe than I'll ever know. So on this day, as we consider what our faith means during a crisis, as we consider the promise of eternal safety for our souls, how can we continue to reach out to others in our community who may not feel safe in the same way that we do? How can we provide them with food and letters and treats and prayer and shelter and love? How do we keep the candle lit? Hey everybody, announcements for the week. Make sure you're checking your email to get the list of shut-ins and homebound folks who could use some letters, and also information about direct depositing or tithing, and also prayer requests at the end of the week. We're not putting them online for privacy issues, but if you want to send us in some prayer requests, we'll send them out on an email. What else? We are going to do Monday, Thursday communion on April 9th, Thursday night, by putting a video online. How can we do communion, you ask? We ordered a whole bunch of prepackaged communion cups about this big with a little wafer on top. And on Saturday, April 4th and Sunday, April 5th, at the back door alley of the church, the kitchen door, we're going to have an elder in gloves and all sanitized up, handing out communion cups to as many as you would like to pick up for your household. You'll just drive up, tell them how many you want, and they will hand them to you in a gloved and sanitized hand. If you would like to pick up for some of your extended family that you're seeing during the week, that would be awesome too. It would cut down on traffic a little bit. And if you are homebound or shut in some way and can't get out, just give the church a call and we will deliver them to where you live. That's April 4th and 5th. It's a Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We'll be handing those out at the back of the church, and call if you need it delivered instead. That's it for this week. Thanks to everybody who participated. Sorry for any videos that I misplaced for the Good Morning stuff. I'm doing the best I can. And thanks to Scott DeVries for loaning us a slightly better camera to use than my Samsung 4 that we had been using. We're praying for you. Wash your hands and stay healthy. Have a good week.
Oh, yuck. Don't do that one.